Last year, when I took this podcast on the road, I bumped into Raj Niger at an event in Barcelona, and we were going to record a podcast there, but as soon as the craziness of the event took over, it just wasn't to be. But when I bumped into him again, this time in Vegas, we made sure that wasn't going to happen again. And he's the VP of marketing at Yotpo. And with Yotpo, brands can effectively leverage social proof to increase trust and sales, cultivate loyal customer advocates, and make better business decisions, all based on their own customer feedback. But they're also the official partner with Google, Facebook, and Shopify. So having watched the guys at Yotpo reveal some pretty interesting insights on stage at Magento Imagine, I convinced Raj that it was time to come on and record that podcast with me. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Vegas so we can speak with Raj Niger, VP of Marketing at Yotpo. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Raj Niger. Thank you for having me. I am a VP of Marketing at a company called Yotpo. Everybody asks me what Yotpo is, and we're basically an integrated marketing platform for direct-to-consumer brands like Third Love, Steve Madden, MVMT, and we provide a suite of solutions for brands to do user-generated content, loyalty, and referrals that you can use on-site. Through our partners like Magento, Salesforce Commerce Cloud, Shopify, BigCommerce. And then you can use the same content and solutions that we offer in channels, email, where we partner with companies like MailChimp, Klaviyo, Bronto, ListTrack, and then also use that same content in other channels like ads, where we obviously partner with people like Instagram, Facebook, and Google. So our goal is to provide direct-to-consumer brands the highest amount of LTV with their customers. And then on the other end, we want to make sure we're connected with as many tech partners and solutions that our brands work with to connect the entire ecosystem.
Wow, some pretty big names there, isn't there, as well, that you guys work with?
Yeah, we're very lucky. We're very lucky to have such great partners.
Now, just for everyone listening, I think it's fair to point out that we last met in Barcelona. We enjoyed a drink, but didn't get a chance to record a podcast. But you did reveal some pretty interesting insights around a new report on stage here at Magento Imagine. So for everyone listening that can't attend, can you just give me a little more information about the report and the story behind it?
Yeah, first I'll say that I have been good the last 2 days, and I've limited the amount of cervezas this time, so we can get this under our belt, which is very hard to do in Vegas. So, so we launched this new report basically in response to a lot of our brands asking for benchmarks, data. What are other brands doing? What's happening in the industry? And instead of waiting for somebody else to do it, like we do with a lot of our content, we decided to take the leap and basically put some sort of moniker or benchmark around this industry that's, if you think about e-commerce, it's $517 billion annually. And for somebody to ask us about this data, we're like, we have to take the lead on this. So this was something we'll do annually, but what we've done is, in this report, we have uncovered, all the top KPIs and marketing channel prioritizations and e-commerce investments, which are things like customer content, loyalty programs, referrals. And then we've taken all that basically learnings that we have from the respondents, which are over 500 D2C brands, and 41% of them were actually founders of D2C brands. So we got it straight from the horse's mouth. We took all that data and then we sliced and diced that data by company size. So it's small, medium, and large. And there's some stark differences between the three to basically get you, the listener, insight into what brands are spending on, what are they prioritizing, and what are some of the key performance indicators for brands. And then in doing that, what we've learned is some of the leading priorities for today's direct-to-consumer brands are obviously the first one is it goes without saying, it's e-commerce sales. Yeah. Everybody wants to grow their e-commerce sales. It's your own website. It scales the best. It's your salesperson that's online 24/7 and it has a global reach. So you want to increase your online sales as much as possible. The second leading priority is customer acquisition. So it's a net new customer acquisition. 54% of the respondents said that was their second one, and the third one is conversion rate, so 53%. Again, not terribly stark differences from what we kind of know, but we know qualitatively. So adds a little bit more quantitative push behind it. So the top three are e-commerce sales, customer acquisition, and conversion rates. And it's interesting if you look at brands that are small, and in this report, we looked at small as under 5 million in revenue. They're particularly looking to drive growth. So for them, e-commerce sales is number one. Now, if you look at mid-sized brands that are between 5 million and 100 million, a little different. They care more about market penetration. So for them, customer acquisition is actually number one. And if you get into the bigger ones, so now you're talking about over 100 million, they've got traffic. So they're not worried about traffic. They probably are. But not as much as, some of the smaller brands and the mid-sized brands. They're actually more worried about conversion rates. For them, it's like, how do I optimize all the traffic that I'm getting or I've built over the course of, how many years or months that they've been working on this. So all three behave very differently in terms of what their KPIs are. In terms of the top three acquisition channels that we learned out of this report is that, and why we did it is to kind of also guide ourselves as well, because, you want to have, data to help guide your strategy as well. But what we learned is the top three channels for direct-to-consumer brands across all verticals and business sizes. So this is very general data, is social media. So this is, again, think about social media in terms of Instagram and Facebook, not organic, because there's no such thing as organic social media anymore. So social media, 61% of respondents said that is their top acquisition channel, followed by SEO.